Good afternoon, everyone. Selena and Abby are here with me again for another migration story, more people on the move. And I bet you didn't know that there were so many different ways that people migrated and moved across the land and met their needs. Selena, you're really far out of the picture. Can you come in a little bit? Okay, so we have another chart. We have a couple more charts, but we have one more chart that looks like the last one. So the last ones we did, we had billiard ball migration, and does someone want to summarize billiard ball?
So you can do it this time. It's basically where one group of people, their territory can't provide for them anymore, so they push another group of people out of their territory. And then that group of people pushes another group of people out of their territory, and it continues until this one group of people doesn't have any more territory to take. So they either go extinct or they join other groups of people.
Okay, so that was billiard ball summary, and then either one of you want to summarize horde migration?
Okay. So the horde migration is when like one group is like migrating, and then there's smaller groups around it that started to trade with that one group. Then they all like migrated together. Then they just became one giant group.
Yeah, that's right. So one strong group is migrating. It collects its trade partners along the way, and then they become one really strong civilization. Okay, so the next one is kind of, it's kind of like a horde migration, but it's a little bit different. I'm going to come into the split screen view. Here is the chart I wanted to share with you. So this one's interesting. So here there are people on the move. These are all purple people. These are all people of the same culture.
Purple people eaters.
Well,
hopefully they don't get eaten.
So as these people move, they're moving around and they're encountering these other groups of people, the yellow people, the red people, and the green people. They are all kind of intermixing here, like they're trading with each other and relating with each other. But unlike in the horde migration story where they combined and became one civilization, these ones, you can see that they became a large purple civilization, but you see that the green people retained some of their cultural attributes, and so did the red people and the yellow people. So maybe like these red people, they kept their characteristics of their language. So maybe there's a common language amongst all the people, but the red people also still speak their old language of their red civilization or their red group. And then maybe the yellow people, maybe the red people as well, but thinking about the yellow people, maybe the yellow people have kept their religious traditions or their food and how they celebrate. And so these cultures within this big culture have retained their history, have retained their historical traditions, and but they have also assimilated and become part of a larger culture or larger civilization. So you can imagine many of our big cities today throughout the whole world. I always think of like New York City or San Francisco. We were just in San Francisco last summer. So thinking about San Francisco, we could think about how one of these little places is like Chinatown. So Chinatown exists within the city of San Francisco, and the people are San Franciscans, but they have their own culture. Their streets are very, very unique to their neighborhoods. The guinea pigs are squeaking. You can check on them. So Chinatown retains their culture, but they are part of San Francisco. And then also there's Japantown and there's Koreatown, and there's lots of different places within San Francisco, within New York City or Seattle or any of the big cities in the world. Really, there's the neighborhoods retain some of those original characteristics. So this kind of migration really is beneficial to all the groups. None of the groups are driven out. None of the groups are forced to lose their culture. They're all really, really gaining from this, because they're gaining the support or strength of the larger community, but they're also retaining their traditions. So this is called infiltration and fusion. Infiltration meaning to come together, and fusion binding. So they're infiltrating, these other groups are infiltrating the purple people, but then they have fused and become one with the purple people, and they have developed a way to retain their culture. And so some examples of this, I'll give you some examples for some inspiration for research. Big cities, I talked about that with Little Italy or Chinatown. Switzerland is a lot like this. You might want to research Switzerland and the founding of Switzerland. And also thinking about the foundation of some of the northeast of our country, with the Amish and the Pennsylvania Dutch, and how those groups exist within the greater area, but have retained their Amish traditions within that. So there's some really cool examples of this. This again was called Infiltration and Fusion. And Selena has Charles Wallace here. He hasn't made an appearance in a lesson video yet. He's come to chores and he's come to meetings, but here he is. You can say hi to Charles. With him coming to say hello, we're going to say goodbye because it is chore party time and I can't wait to do some chores with you. I hope you enjoyed Infiltration and Fusion, and I can't wait to see what kind of research you do. You can do something on one of those big cultures like Switzerland or the Amish, Pennsylvania Dutch, or you could do something like learning about Chinatowns or Little Italy or any of those groups within a group. So maybe we have some here in Spokane that you would like to research. I don't know. Okay, I hope to hear from you soon. I can't wait to see your Infiltration and Fusion follow-up. Have a great day, everyone.